Yes, good morning, good afternoon, good evening everyone. Today we're going to run through integration with FMAudit and a couple of other products that have been included in this. We believe this integration is going to help put your complete MPS program together. And what we're really talking about an output management solution as well as part of the FMAudit program. And we're also talking about floor plan mapping and being able to produce a TCO as well. I think we've got all our attendees, so we'll continue on here. So bringing these solutions together, we have FMAudit, we have DocAssess, which is the floor plan mapping and the TCO tool, and we also ROI Print Manager. But the idea of this integration is to have all this data in one screen, and we'll do a demo of that shortly. But for the dealership, it's really a new approach. It's really a superior efficiency for your MPS program and how to manage that program. It's the ability to set your sales team apart from the competition, and it's the ability to win more business, increasing customer value. We'll see that when we get into the data here and how different it is. And obviously, if you can sell more solutions and services, there's more revenue in it for the dealership. ROI Print Manager. If you haven't heard of the product before, it's been around for a while. It's really about collecting user-level data and then being able to put print rules and unique user workflows in place, and we'll run through that a little bit later. But what we've done here is we've been able to sync this user-level data now with FMAudit Central. And you could probably imagine that metering information, where it's a stop-start meter, then it has a volume for the month, is completely different to user print information, which is only collected as the user's print and reports that back into a separate database. Well, we've managed to share some technology between our companies, which is patent pending, and that's how we've been able to provide this information into FMAudit. The other thing we're going to take a look at here is the floor plan mapping, and you've probably done this in the past when you take on an account. You need to go out there at some point, identify the assets and where they actually are. This tool provides the ability to plot those assets on a floor plan and be able to sync that into FMAudit Central. I think the unique who is printing what to the workflow that they're actually used. So we'll take a look at that as well. From a demo point of view, let's take a look at a demo of this now, and you can check all this out. So if I go into FMAudit Central version 4, and most of you are probably on this by now, and we go into this account, this GA Technologies. If I go into devices, I'll be able to see the usual information here, but let's find the Ricoh printer. And I'll see I've got a Ricoh right here. I'm going to click on that device, get a nice picture of it. I have my meters, my supply information, my service information. And then you'll see that there's two new tabs. There's floor plan and user data. First, let's take a look at the user data tab. Under the user data tab, I'm going to go back and select previous year. So I've got some data to show here. So what it's actually showing me here is the user's name by how they log into their workstation or their Active Directory name. It's showing me the number of applications they print from, what the total jobs are they print, and then also a breakdown on their volume, color, and black and white. Now, if I want, I can go and look at that a different way. Here's basically all the applications that are printed to this device and what their volumes are. And I can also go and see that by application by user. So here's each of the applications, and here's the people that print those documents out. And I can also see users by application. So what's the advantage of this? Obviously, the advantage is here is I can see what people are actually printing to this machine and if this device is capable of doing those type of documents. Now, they're all pretty straightforward. They're all Word. I can see there's Acrobat in here, a lot of that. There's a bit of Excel, not too much PowerPoint, so it's probably fine for this machine. But if I looked in and I saw excessive volume that was going to this device, I can understand that it probably needs to go to a bigger machine, maybe an MFP, or maybe even a production device. So it really helps me, from a service point of view, understand on what's going inside that account. Now, the nice thing about that user data, if I go across the reports, and here I've got some user data reports. If I click on this one, and I go into our templates, Here I can get applications printed the last 30 days. I can get the users who printed the last 30 days. And then I've got applications by volume. I've got my top 20 high volume users. I've got my least used printers, most used local printers, most used network printers, users who are printing from email, So as I said before, information into your account reviews and going beyond the meter or the volume count, now you've got a lot of good workflow information to be able to discuss with your customer. Now let's go back to the floor plan mapping piece. So I'm going to go back under the account. I'm going to click on floor plan. Now as that floor plan comes up, what we've actually done here to start the process off is we've gone out and downloaded an app which we can run on an Android or an Apple tablet. And basically we've gone around, we've scanned in a floor plan, and we've gone around and associated serial numbers to the various assets as we come across them. And it's simply a matter of dragging and dropping the asset onto a floor plan along with identifying the serial number. Once I've done that, I can press a button, I can upload this information straight into FMAudit Central, and the maps appear right there. Now, in this particular map, I can see that we've got some flashing going on. So again, this is good from a service point of view, so let's take a look at that. If I click onto this device right here, I can see that we've got some consumable alerts, and I can see that how much on these particular ones. The waste toner box is 50% full, and the toner container is 48. We've also got a critical alert unidentified and a binary warning event here. Let's take a look at this one. Now again, I can see this information in other parts of FMAudit, which is fine, but now I've got a visual map. It's actually showing me what's going on inside that account, where these machines are at. And if I come up here and click on devices, see who's using those devices and what applications they're bringing from. So because this machine has a service alert on it, or it may be down, I know that we've got 10 or so people affected by this machine being down. And in here we've got their names blanked out, but would have their email address or their login credentials here, and we could see who's actually affected. So first thing to think about this is from a service point of view, how that would improve your service and efficiencies to be able to understand where these assets are and who's printing them. But then think about it from a customer account point of view. If I'm a rep and I'm talking to a customer and we're starting to go around these devices and looking at who uses them, what other volumes they print, and what applications they print from, now we've got a really good discussion going around user workflow and what type of applications or solutions we could put in there to improve that. Back to the presentation. So just a bit more on DocAssess. As I said before, this is an app that you download. It's also a tool that sales reps can use as well. It can be customized, and inside the tool, a rep could take this out and use it to actually present your dealership's MPS program, and it would contain all the resources in the tablet. It's a very easy platform to use because it's mobile. Once the assessment started, whether it's assessment after the deal's done or you want to go out and take a look at what's going on today, you can go out there and map the environment. The nice thing about it, it will do a present and future state scenario and show you what the TCO is, so you can actually integrate your dealership price book into this as well, and it will actually produce a proposal for your customer as well. And this is a really nice integration with FMAudit, as you can see with those floor plan mapping. Back to ROI and process management and MPS solution. And I think you'll see that there's other output management solutions on the market out there. And they're all good solutions, but the problem with those is all that user level data that we just saw inside FMAudit is retained inside the customer's firewall, and as the dealership, you never have access to that data. And I think what we just went through, showing you the integration and the power of that user level data, there's definitely an advantage to have that information back at the dealership. So with that information, now we can start to position other solutions in there which is where ROI comes in, because not only is it an assessment tool, you can do print rules and quotas for users, but it also does authentication, which is an embedded app at the device. We'll take a look at that. It does pull printing, mobile print, tracks all that usage inside the customer's firewall so they can get their reports. It also does their cost recovery if they want to do billing. And again, it's fully integrated to FMAudit and integrated to DocAssess. So ROI Print Manager is a browser-based interface. It's basically a server that sits inside the customer's firewall and simply collects data as users print, and then it on-site will connect to that, your on-site server, and it'll actually extract that data out and bring it up into Central for you. But as this server sits there, it's really the central control for the ROI Print Manager product, where we can deploy our agents, where we can deploy our embedded app. This is where we can actually configure and set the product up. It's where we set print rules, schedule our reports, put our quotas in place, and also set various permissions. From our print rules, they're very straightforward. We can force print rules or encourage people to accept what the print rule is. The print rule could be set by printer, driver, or user, depending how we want to set that up. We can also do quotas by user and also quotas by application. So if we had a situation where a particular user was printing way too much email, we could throttle that back simply by setting a print rule against that particular application they're using. We can also set print rules for duplexing and restricting color as well. And these pop-up windows are customizable. You can see with this one has a picture of myself in there. I'm the CFO, saying this is a print cost alert. And then I'm suggesting a list of other printers underneath, which are more cost-effective than the one I'm trying to currently print to. On the embedded side, as I said, we have the ability to control usage at the MFP or the copier, and the way we do that is with our embedded app. The embedded app is simply pushed out from the server that I mentioned, the ROI Print Manager server. Once that app's out there and we lock the device down, users would walk up and they can either use a PIN code to access, they can use a swipe card. We pretty much use all the various swipe cards that are out there today. HID would be an example. Or the other way to authenticate is the QR code that you see right there. And a lot of the manufacturers have this ability depending on the quality of their panel. But in this particular case, we can put a QR code there. I could simply walk up with my mobile device, scan that QR code, and as long as I'm on the wireless network, it would authenticate me to that device and it would track all my usage. The nice thing about this, as you know, with embedded applications like this, and it does control the copier, we can capture not only printing activity, copying activity, scanning, and also fax as well. We can also set print rules at this point, so as users walk up and they want to print their document out, there may be a print rule in place that requests them that they need to duplex that document, or they can't print the document in color. We could also let them print their documents but maybe not be able to scan from that device. So various rules or workflows that we can put in place based on what the customer is looking for and what their requirements are. And of course it tracks all that usage. Our embedded app today is available for Toshiba, Kyocera, Xerox, Samsung, Sharp, Oki, and Ricoh. We are working on Lexmark, Konica Minolta, and HP, and also Canon as well. So they'll be available a little later in this year. Secure release or pull printing. This is really hot in some of the larger accounts out there where they have a dispersed environment and operating different satellites around the country or around the world. So the idea here is you can queue your documents. You can walk to any device on the network regardless of the brand as long as it's a network printer. Once I authenticate with the methods that I just went through before, I can then hit pull print and I'll actually see my documents in a queue. And from here I can actually do some queue management. I could delete some of these documents out. I could take them from a color document to a black and white document. I could duplex the document, various things I can do at that point. The nice thing about it provides that security and confidentiality around documents. We see this used in a lot of hospital environments, for example. Also, it has the ability to do delegate printing. So if I wanted my assistant to be able to print my documents out for me, at a device, I could set that up so they could do that as well. And we see that delegate print in a lot of schools where teachers will have their assistant want to print out their documents, so they'll send them over to the device to do that, and they'll be able to log in, and we can track that as well. Usage tracking, the nice thing about ROI is we can do scheduled web-based reports. We can also sync these with Active Directory, so we can do group or departmental reports. And these reports are also available for doing a print assessment. And so we can see the reports in ROI Analytics, which is a separate reporting tool, or we can also see these reports inside FMAudit Central. So three ways to actually get your reports there. And while we're at that point, let's just take a look at the ROI I got here. This is the admin set up inside the customer's environment. I'm logging in here, and once I log in, I have some various tools down the side here. It's very simple to set up. To configure the product, I would simply go and click on Setup. I'd go out and detect my printers. In this particular example, we've detected one printer which is already configured, but if it wasn't configured, it would give me a list of devices. I simply click on the Create box. Once I do that, this printer would be set up for whatever credentials I put in place, whether that's to lock the device down, to restrict people printing color on it, maybe it's to force people to duplex. Those credentials would be all set up, and I set those up down here under printing, or I can go and set up my various rules for my printers. Here I can announce the printer, I can make it a mobile target. We also integrate with Google Cloud as well, so we can make it available to Google Cloud Print. So all my various attributes for those particular printers set up. So I could do these individually, or I could group these together and basically set the policies right across the whole organization. The other nice thing I can do in here as well is my reporting, because that's what we're talking about. I can go in here and reports that I actually want to send out. And when I do that, these reports can be sent to a group. They can be sent to a particular user. They can be scheduled on a one-time basis. They can be scheduled hourly, weekly, monthly, or quarterly, however long you want to run these reports. This is a really good tool inside organizations where they want to get the reporting information back to their department heads, or in a school, for example, back to the principals. This is the printing activity that you actually have going on in your department today. Stepping back outside the GUI again, we also have cost recovery as well. Cost recovery is the ability for a user to walk up, and once they authenticate, they'll be presented a screen which asks them to enter a billing code. Now, all these billing codes are saved in the system, so they can simply select the code that they want to bill to. If it's a non-billable job, they could also select that as well. But once they hit continue, it will track all that usage as far as the billing goes, and then we can actually take that information and export it out in a report, and we can set that up so it would go into a back-end billing system. We see this product used a lot in law firms where we have multiple people working on a particular project or a particular case. We have the ability to make sure that all those prints and copies are getting billed back to that particular customer. So a really great way to do cost recovery inside those accounts. Mobile printing is probably one of our strongest products out there today because it has 5 ways to set up your mobile printing. This is basically the ability to print to any network printer from your mobile device, whether it's Android or whether it's iPhone. And the nice thing about this is it tracks all that usage as well. And right here we're talking about Google Cloud Print again. We've seen a lot of the schools out there where they've got the Google tablets, and it's a real nice workflow for their teachers to be able to use those, but the problem with that Google Cloud Print is it doesn't actually track who's actually doing the printing. So we've got a way to integrate with that with our mobile print product. It doesn't interrupt their workflow, but it does track all their usage based on their login credentials. And it's the same deal with Apple AirPrint. We do the same thing with that as well. The other way our mobile print product works is the ability to download a free app. We can then actually put a QR code on the embedded panel, which we've already reviewed, or we can actually put a sticker on the device, and that sticker, that QR code, actually contains the serial number and the IP address of that particular printer. With my mobile device, whether it's a phone or a tablet, I simply authenticate onto the wireless network. So this would be for a large organization, for their employees to be able to use mobile printing. Once I'm authenticated, I can walk up to any device on the network, code, then I'm standing in front of that device, and it will allow me to print my documents from where I stand. The nice thing about it, it's kind of like pool print in a way, that the screen that we reviewed on pool print is kind of replicated on your mobile device, so you can actually see your documents, you can do some queue management there, we can set some print rules there as well, whether we want to force people or encourage them to print their documents from color to black and white. We can encourage them to duplex, or again force them to duplex. There's different things that we can actually do with the device. This is a really nice application in the healthcare environment where there's compliance or HIPAA compliance around documents and how they're printed out in an organization. This makes sure that chain of custody is in place. A doctor would simply print their document via the mobile print app. Again, walk up to any device that has the QR code, scan that, and basically see their documents and print them from where they stand. So a really nice application to be able to make sure there's chain around their confidence or some good way. The fourth way we do mobile print is simply an email address. So we would see this used in the hospitality industry. For example, I check into a hotel, I've got documents I want to print. In the past, it would be handing over a USB key to someone who was willing to print the documents off for me. But now it's simply an email address that I'm given when I check into the hotel. I send my documents to that email address, and my documents would be an attachment, of course. Once the server receives that email, it will then send me back a confirmation email that the document has been received and it's ready to print. We can customize the message back. It may say something like, you know, welcome to the Hilton hotel chain. Your document is ready to print, and the printer is located in the business center. Once you're there, please use the following PIN code to release your documents. So when I get down to that business center, it's the same process again. I can scan the PIN code. When I do that, it'll actually show me my documents that I have there. I can go through and do some queue management, and I can print those documents right there. The nice thing about that is it will print out a report, and that can be a scheduled report that can come at any hour of the evening back to the front desk, so they can take that billing information, put it in their billing system for that particular guest at their hotel. So we see a lot of traction in the hospitality industry on that one. And of course, the fifth way is very straightforward. This is simply opening up a web browser, which is a custom browser. It kind of looks like this right here, just to give you an idea. It can be customized, but basically I would click onto that web browser, go in, select the document I want to print. I have some ability here to put how many copies, duplex, monochrome, or secure print, meaning it'll hold it at the printer until I get there and release it. But basically I can target my queue, which is where all the documents would be held, or I can send it directly to a printer, upload the document, and it's printed. That's a really nice way to simplify and be able to use access documents as well. So again, very robust. It's probably one of the strongest ones out there on the market, and being very flexible in the way IT could actually set that up. So we've kind of wound up the presentation here now, but you know, what I want to go back to is kind of where we started and talk about how we've brought these MPS solution sets together and really try to put them all together in one area for you as the dealer to be able to maximize the value. And I think that's the problem out there today. There's a lot of MPS tools around, and they're all quite good tools, but the problem with them, there's some very complicated or no integrations at all with their partners. And I think FMAudit's really leading the way on that by bringing in these nice solutions into that product, something that you use in the dealership every day. Traditionally been a back-end operational type tool for the dealership, but now I think you see these added features. It's something that can be brought across to the front end of the dealership, to the sales side, where they can start to get a lot more value out of the FMAudit product as well. Easy to acquire all this technology, no need to establish another vendor-partner relationship. You can simply acquire ROI Print Manager and DocAssess through FMAudit, and it can be in addition to your existing dealer contract. So very straightforward to do. From a pricing point of view, what we've done here is we've put bundles together. The first bundle, or the entry-level bundle, is basically 1,000 printers or users plus floor plan mapping, and for that it's $350 per month. That's the starting program. For that you get your meters, service, tone and alerts just like you're getting today. You also get that user data reporting up into FMAudit Central, and you also get the floor plan mapping that we reviewed as well. Summary, we believe this integration of these solutions improve your service and sales in your dealership. I think you'll see it as definitely a sales team hold of this user versus simply going out and talking about a lot of those account reviews really talking on certain machines. Service uptime will be very good and clean issues. But now by going to user level data associated with the machine, showing the blueprints what to where and the floor plan mapping, it extends the conversation beyond into this workflow. And I think it'll be more business, so you win more business and you'll sell solutions and services. For any more information on this, your FMAudit sales representative, we can contact ROI. Our number is 60714-8840. That's the end of the presentation. Any questions at this point today?